3, 2, 1. Oh! Abby! Why, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to purdyjo Reviews, where after I complete a Let's Play, I take a quick step back and take a look at whether a game is worth a pass or a yes. Today, we're looking at Ryse, Son of Rome, which originally came out on the Xbox One way back in November 2013, and it came out later on PC in October of 2014. This specific review is based on the PC version.
The story!
Ryse, Son of Rome is a third-person hack-and-slash game. You play as Ryse, a general during the war against the Celtic barbarians. The game starts you off defending Rome against the barbarians, and after carving your way through the attacking forces, leading the Emperor to one of the safe rooms in the palace. The following story progresses through a series of flashbacks that you tell the Emperor as you wait for the attack to end. These flashbacks tell your story as Ryse, who is a new recruit to the Roman army, heading off to the currently peaceful Alexandria. Before deploying, you head home to see your family, but the visit, unfortunately, is cut short due to a massive barbarian invasion, and your entire family being slaughtered.
No!
During the defense of your home city, you meet a commander battalion who had served with your father, and he promises you the vengeance for your murdered family. That's really all there is to it. Family dies, you seek vengeance. There aren't really any standout moments in the story, and all the characters are fairly generic, don't have a lot of depth, and any twists and turns in the story are pretty predictable or expected. That said, the pacing's on point. The game is short and is paced very quickly, so you don't tend to stick around in one area for too long, which keeps things fresh enough that it doesn't become too much of an issue.
The art style.
When it comes to art, the CryEngine shows off its power once again. As of this review date, the game came out on PC 3.5 years ago, and the graphics still hold up. Ryse is very well optimized for the PC, because I could run everything on max settings with the GTX 1050 Ti, and only experienced a bit of slowdown in a few very specific areas. To see where the game shines, you need to see the part of the game where you storm the beaches against the barbarians. The weather, lighting, and effects on things like flaming catapult projectiles all looked fantastic. Most of the characters look great as well. Ryse does a good job at expressing emotions on the characters' faces during cinematics, which are all rendered in real time. Though, while most of the characters look great, some of the characters do look a little bit derpy. Short and sweet, but the audio in Ryse, Son of Rome is great. The voice acting was very well done, the music in the game fit with what was going on, and all of the combat and death sound effects were spot on. Nothing stood out as next level or amazing, but everything fit exactly where it needed to and did exactly what it was supposed to do. Gameplay. Ryse, Son of Rome feels very on rails at times, where you essentially hack through enemies, move to the next area, and hack through the next. And this is most likely due to how the development on the game started. Ryse started out as a first-person melee game called Codename Kingdoms way back in 2010. And in 2011, it was announced that it was going to be a Kinect-only title. As development on the game continued, Kinect was becoming less and less of an option, and the game was just converted over to the third-person game like what we see today. So Ryse is a very linear game. It's there for you to experience a story and nothing more. There's no real exploration in the game, and any hidden areas are basically just there for the hidden items that give you a couple things to look at in the menu. This said, the pacing of the game was done very well. The action doesn't really stop throughout the game, and the game is short enough that it ends before you get too tired of it. The combat is very simple. A button for dodging, blocking, quick attacks, and shield attacks. Aim where you want to attack, and you attack in that direction. If you hold down the quick attack or the shield attack, you get a heavy attack that does more damage. In a game like this is a good thing to have simple combat, because there are times where you could be fighting like 5 enemies at a time, and having overly complex fighting mechanics would take away from it. There are a few areas that try to switch things up a bit, but they tend to just do the exact same thing. Examples being letting you call for archer support, or just trotting along with your men and their shields up to make your way through archers firing at you. Things do tend to get repetitive after a while. They introduce new enemies, but all of these enemies have very predictable behaviors and essentially just require you to use a shield attack or dodge their attacks completely instead of blocking them. Every enemy can have special executions done to them once their health is low enough. While they are pretty cool at the start of the game, after seeing the same 10 or so animations on rotation for the entire game, you tend to want to just speed it along a bit. Ryse also has a very basic upgrade system that allows you to upgrade your character and give you more health, more execution animations, and a few other generic upgrades. But these don't really change the gameplay very much, and the game would have been basically the same if they didn't even exist. The boss battles you encounter are essentially the exact same all throughout the game. There are 4 boss battles, and every one of them just has one unblockable attack that you have to dodge after a series of regular attacks, and a window of time that you can get your own attacks in. They were all there because they needed to be for the story, but they could have had a way better implementation. Lastly, there is very little replayability. There is a multiplayer aspect to Ryse that was not explored for this review, but for the main campaign, there is no reason to go back into it unless you want to challenge yourself on a hard difficulty, or you feel the need to collect every collectible in the game. For these reviews, I will be giving you my opinion on whether or not you should check the game out with a yes or a pass. Story-wise, it was forgettable. It did its job, but that's about it. You could have placed this game at any time or any place and it would have been just as good. There is nothing that happened in the story that makes you say, this needed to be in ancient Rome. This was just your average story in another setting. The average story gets an average rating. The artwork in the game is fantastic. Great effects, great textures, fantastic lighting, the works. While there were a few derpy looking faces, it really didn't take away from anything, and the artwork definitely stood out as one of Ryse's Son of Rome's strong points, and for that, the art gets the glorious rating. The audio was also really well done. Everything fit and flowed and did exactly what it needed to do. Nothing was exceptional or eargasm worthy, but at the same time nothing had me questioning my ear holes or cringing at bad voice acting. For that, it gets the quite lovely rating. And lastly, the gameplay. I had fun with this game. I don't have a problem with games being short if the price point is right. If this review was at launch, I may have had a larger problem with it, but since I paid $9 on a Humble Bundle store sale, the shortness of the campaign seems like more of a strong suit, since it was over before the game got born. That said, now that I've beaten the game, I will never touch it again. There was no replayability there for me, and while it was fun, there is nothing driving me to go back into the game and revisit it. So while I had fun, because of that, the gameplay gets a quite lovely rating. Now, does Ryse Son of Rome get a pass or a yes? Personally, I would say give it a pass. While the game is good, it also has been out for almost 4 years at the time of this review. So if you haven't played it yet, you aren't missing out on anything special. If you still want to give it a try after all of this, wait for it to go on sale again, because it regularly goes on sale for under $10, both on Steam or sites like the Humble Bundle store. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for now. Thank you for tuning in, and let me know what you think about the review. Was it fair? Was there something I missed? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. And if you'd like to see the gameplay for Ryse Son of Rome, see what the game's really like and see how I reacted at the time I was playing, check out my Let's Play here on this channel. Thanks everyone, see you later.
Hey!